This is Justin Amazon on Monday, April 23rd, 2018, with a quick look at Amazon. Pre-market rallied up into somewhat of this range, this indecision, well, more so a buying off support candle. Came up into this range at pre-market. And what's interesting about this week is earnings are later this week. Because there's earnings, the options are very expensive, and the bid-ask spread itself was about $100. So very difficult to, pretty much impossible to trade Amazon options this week with a $100 $100 risk. But we'll take a look at how Amazon moved and what we think could happen. So step right into the day, and immediately we've got a sell down. Looks really similar. Sell down right into 1540 like we did yesterday. But we're starting closer to it, so it does keep going. It actually keeps going across 20 minutes, comes down just about into 1528. It only took 10 minutes to get there yesterday, or to get down to about a $20 move, something like that yesterday, and today it did that quicker, and actually came in about 25 minutes, moved about $25, 25 points on Amazon. Yesterday it moved about 20 in 10 minutes. So still moving down. The look of the open yesterday, quickly moving into this support, bouncing. The move today, quickly moving through a support. It's like, oh man, is this just going to keep on going? And it didn't. It actually started to bounce there. It looks like it's retesting the 1528 price from below, and an indecision right on it. Comes a little bit into the 5 exponential moving average. Starts to roll over, and it's like, okay, we could be totally done. This could keep coming down to 1514, could keep moving down to 1500. It could be totally done. It's a bearish engulfing, just about the same lows as these. This could totally move lower with a trigger down here and a stop up here. Pretty wide, but with the momentum it's got and similar sell-off to yesterday, it could totally go. The only hesitation there is after this much of a sell-off, I'd like a little more rest than for it to continue charging lower. So get a little bit more, some buying here, bullish candle, some buying into that resistance again. Got an inside candle that sort of consolidates a little bit more, but still not enough of what I'm looking for. Okay, there's another one even smaller, and then it's like, okay, it's starting to bounce, and seeing this, it's like this could retest back into 1528 again, and then bounce and come back up to 1540. Like that's similar to what it did yesterday, just holding that low. Today it's kind of doing a double bottom with a neckline at the old support resistance, or that line that we've got. I mean, it's not really playing out as a support or resistance right now, but it could be. I mean, it's starting to bounce there. Comes up a little bit more, and then here we go. We got a retest, so it comes right down into this level. You could have bought here. This is the only place you could have been buying, looking for this double bottom, pull back. Could have been buying right here with maybe your stop at your full R, $100 would have been somewhere in this area, like with the stop right below here, and then we get a wick lower, and it would have been stopped out immediately. So it didn't actually hold that. But if that's what you're trying to do, the only other thing you could have done is be buying at these lows, or be buying at this low, having something to buy at this low. If it comes down that far, maybe that would have worked in the options. I have no idea. And then we get some bouncing, and we do actually rally up and through 1544. And I thought this looks really similar now, even more similar to yesterday up here. And pause the video if you want to look at it a little longer. But the main thing that I see is a quick sell-off and a retracement that didn't make it as high. Quick sell-off, retracement that didn't make it as high. This is bearish. Now we're bearish, rallying up into a resistance, whereas yesterday we didn't have a resistance line up here. Might be something you could draw back around 15.58 at this price. We have one right here. This is a great place to see a similar move, even the same resistance here that played out yesterday right here. I mean, it overshot it a little bit, but the way that it came right back down, you can get in here bearish with evening star reversal, stop up here. If you want to be more conservative, stop up here, but it's looking like yesterday. Had you done that evening star reversal here, trigger below this, stop up here or stop up here, it worked all day. This could work the rest of the day, that kind of move. Sort of retesting, didn't trigger yet, but it also looks like a double top, just a smaller right double, or the second one, similar to this, and then this just ran down. So here we've got, triggered in, look for it to continue to roll down. It goes sideways, breaks down, goes sideways, breaks down, sideways, breaks down. This move alone could have been caught, again, if you're just trading the shares, maybe not options. I don't know what the options price would have been here. It's possible you could have shorted right here, just like you tried to short or tried to buy right here, and that maybe got stopped out on that one, but didn't get stopped on this one. Now you're trying to short it right here, and maybe it worked. But I really like how we rejected the 1540 price yesterday and today. It was old support, it was old support here, new resistance here, and new continued resistance here to roll down. Now it's like, okay, we're at the same level. We just were breaking through this. We probably won't hold this like we did yesterday here or here. This may just continue on through because we've already pushed through it and it didn't really work. So now this, even though it's still a line we have on here, we could take it out. And it's like, oh yeah, it's pretty easy to move into the low of the day. We should probably come into 1525. And if we do, then maybe we'll come back up to 1528 from below again and then roll over. So we push through it, come back up, retest from below. Oh, push a little bit higher. This looks more like a flag. We've got similar volumes. It's kind of hard to see the volume, but it looks like it's a little bit decreasing. All right, there we go. A nice small candle. Right into lunch hour, starting to roll over. This is just phenomenal. Threw it open wick. There were a bunch of buyers that got on this candle. It got a little bit higher volume than these. And this is kind of your last chance to say, okay, I got to get back above this area for a real bounce, just like yesterday. I had to get back above some of these resistances. Same area too, so the high here, if you look back at yesterday, that's, this price here, that's that low. That's about the low here. That's in effect again. One of those low candles where these were holding as, this was support. Even in here, after hours and pre-market, a little bit of resistance. Worked right here as resistance. Oh, pushed through it, came back down to it. This is some indecision right on that line, and now we're looking at it as resistance. So 1532, not a line we have, but still a price level that's working. Another one, and then we break down. So another evening star reversal. We've broken through all of these candles. Everybody who's bought on these candles in here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 bullish candles in this time frame. We are about to break down below all of them right here. 1525 by 1533. Something like that. $8. Retests into that level and starts to roll over. There it goes. So triggered in, going bearish pretty immediately. You can move your stop from up here down to right here. It's working. Or wait a little longer. We actually have the squeeze forming and starting to roll over its momentum. Pushing lower. Okay, pause and just push even further. The squeeze is triggered. We're right into 1514 and could be done. That could be it. But with all this consolidation on this level, like we saw yesterday, and then breakdown, we're kind of offset to the lower side. So if you can think of the overall move this had yesterday from 1561.20 down to 1516.09. So about a 45, right? $45 move. So $45 move from 1548 is, what is it, $45? Yeah, so that's 1503. I mean, this could still move another $9 lower. So it actually does. It comes right down into 1503. We'll take a look back at the daily candles. These daily candles look identical for the range and some of the movement. We had this initial sell-off, rally, didn't get as high, roll over, sell-off, rally, roll over. This paused again quite a bit here, much longer than we paused at any level yesterday. Paused for like an hour in here. Didn't do that here. But then we did rally back up, instead of, let's see. So this was a secondary rally that we didn't see today. This didn't rally up into anything other than the 1533 price and then roll over. But then we had a rally into the close that actually continued after hours. So, similar to this rally, we rallied and then kind of chopped around a little bit before making some higher moves. In these candles, just like this, we actually closed a little bit above this yesterday, and today we closed just barely above these candles here. So, and even after the close, we ran all the way back up into 1528 price. So take a bigger step out, you can see we've just been retracing back down almost to the 1500 price as part of this breakout from this larger consolidation, breakout, roll over, breakout, roll down, and looks like it could bounce up anywhere in this area. It really needs to hold, the 1500 price if it's going to continue higher. Didn't quite get down to it here. Didn't quite get down to it here. Our actual price could be, 1504. That we're following better here. But let's see if we switch back over. Okay, so I had the hourly open. I was looking at some other things in the hourly. If we switch back over to the daily, just to show you these two candles, the range on these and then the buying at the close, these just look like really similar candles, incredibly similar candles. Oh, there we go. There's a new triangle, bigger triangle on the daily. I hadn't seen that yet. And switched over and zoomed in on the daily. So that's pretty interesting. Just to see that, okay, we could roll right back down here into the high 1300s. That'd be phenomenal from right here if it's going to do that. Now, if this reversal holds, this is just a S-curve here, and you want to buy somewhere in this level. Buying at 1500 would be great. If this does end up rolling over, like a triangle suggests, and you're going to at least come down into the low 1400s. Give it a couple days to move back down into this, but we should see some of these key levels like 1500 cross through tomorrow or the next day, like the next couple days. We don't want to chop around up here too much because it'll put in this just higher base like it did here. I'm going to switch back to, let's take a look at the 5-minute during the day today with these options. And so we have the move here, bearish, so you'd be into calls. You could have bought a call for a low price of $3,674 for one call. Just letting that price kind of sink in. That's too much for my $100 risk. And conveniently, we had two candles in a row that were right around $4,200. So, right in here, could have bought puts after this double top and, just hoped you didn't get stopped out by a move back up into that line. But you would have needed a little bit larger risk to take any of these trades. Even if you had a trigger at 4,200 and a stop down here at 3,600. It's like, okay, that's still a $600 R. Can't trade that one. And you were still only looking at maybe move back up here, but an R, maybe a little higher, 2, maybe not 3. And so it's still doable to trade it, just not for anyone with a really small R. Looking at these. So you can see how these moves worked. We're bearish, we're bouncing, we're looking bullish. So the call moved, and now up here we're reversing, and we're down here, we're pausing, and we're going down some more. So, we the put, it just chopped around through this stretch and then rallied really quickly up as the stock went down to the 1503 price. And then into the close, we actually did chop a little bit higher on the call. So there were some options that, if you had something decent for an R, it could have been trading this. If we go a little further out of the money, the pricing is still very high. So now you're $25 further out of the money than the 1525 was, and you're seeing some similar prices coming in. So you're seeing everything expensive, but so this low here, 29.20. This one isn't as far away dollar amount wise. It's only about $200 away. So that's a little more feasible to have a little bit smaller risk. And then if we go even further out, and the issue is all these had such low volume. So we open the day with this option being 1,887. That's the price that somebody actually bought it at. And then we came down into these prices here, the 21, around 2,100 all through here. And as it sold off, the price of the option ran up. But you would have been holding all, a good chunk of the day, and you're still so far out of the money that it's just, you're not sure it's going to move so significantly. You probably will not get into the money on like a 1475, and there's always a challenge there, even though it's Monday, expiration week. There's a challenge to think, okay, is it really going to get down this far? What is my chart telling me it could do? Well, in this case, we saw the full range of the day moved. If you were getting into something up here and getting out, $45 lower, then yeah, maybe you could have just held this all day and made a nice, decent profit. And then you were going counter trend on any of the moves with the calls from, here up, or thinking this is going to bounce again, and then the closing price up. So a couple of different ways to play it. Another thing I wanted to look at was, let's see, I think it was the hourly. Let me take a look at the hourly and see if we can go over this real quick. Not sure how quick it'll be. I said this would be a quick video. All right. So something caught my eye looking at this that I wanted to share. And no, I guess it was harder to see here. You know what? I'll draw it in. So just with some of the levels that we've got in here, I thought it was really interesting. The ranges. Oops. So the main one being, so I'm grabbing the Fibonacci tool. The main thing being is if these prices, right here we have 1,500, 1,514, and then 1,528. So those are equally spaced at $14 here, $14 here. What I realized is that if I draw in a fib and I make that fib so that my prices, let's see, where did I draw this? I'm trying to remember where I drew this. So that my prices in the middle are $14 away from each other, then I get a really incredible looking, well, that was it, yeah. Okay, I'm close enough. 1,500, 1,514, 1,528. So I drew it back here, pretty much this sell-off candle, and then I drew it here, the resistance that we had down at 1455. So I didn't quite draw it up at 1578 like we had, but I'm using a Fibonacci retracement, and I probably drew it backwards because, well, whatever. Just look at where the lines line up. Back here, these were working with this level, the 1455. I mean, look, we've had these on our chart. So 1455, then you got 1500, 1514, 1528, and then, you know, this sell-off price. And these have been some of the key prices recently, even as we sold back off from down here. So we switch back over to the 5-minute, those get drawn in. You can see the percentage here. These are overlapping. You know, so this one here, let's do this. Let's look at yesterday's and today's. And so our 1541 price is not in here. That's only $13 away from 1528. So it doesn't work exactly for that line. But you know, you could probably redraw it to 1542, and it may be another set that would work. You know, you got into it here, held here, then it broke through. You know, 1542 rather than 1541. But you would have two different sets of $14 differences in price. So anyway, I just thought this was phenomenal how the pricing worked out, where we've had lines in place, and you can see how well they were working. These ones are working. Let's see if I shift this. It's gonna let me shift it. No, let's grab the wrong one. I want to grab the fib. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it. Zoomed it up, maybe. No. So let me just move the fib up and see what happens if I grab this. Move it. There we go. Move it up to this line. So now I moved it up 1514, 1528, 1452. Now the line I'm on here is almost at 1468, which we had drawn in. And now I'm on the other side of the 1578, and I'm at 1587. So, you know, it shifts things a little bit, but it still pulls these lines right back into play that we've had in this. So almost you know, middle bouncing of fibs through here. And so it's just interesting to see some more confirmation from an actual tool saying, okay, some of these retracements are calculated. You know, some of these ranges that are, these levels that are holding or breaking down are actually real levels. Not to say that the prices I've picked are exactly right or something, but they've worked, and that's what we want to see. We want to see some lines work and be able to trade off them, and hopefully make a good amount of money doing that. So after the close today, like I said, we rallied up into the 1528 price and then sold back down. So this would have been phenomenal to trade after hours, and then into the close, or into the after hours close, it was looking like it was moving a little bit up. It doesn't quite look like yesterday's. May not see another day where we gap up into here and then sell down, but I mean, hey, if we do, you know, we got the levels in here to be watching with. I think if we look back at that hourly, it's easier to see this S curve that, okay, we rallied, now we're coming down. Could do it again, come down a little further, or could hold the 1500. It'd be great to hold the 1500 because of that fib level that we just saw in here. So I encourage you to draw some of your own fibs and identify what these candles are doing. All of this island reversal and then the gap up, you know, that's huge. That should hold a support. It's possible to come all the way back down to 1544 and then bounce. That's entirely possible. That there's enough people selling it that they're going to push it down rather than being trapped as it moves higher. And so we'll pick it back up tomorrow, take a look at the 5-minute and see how things trade. But be very careful this week with options, and we should have a better idea for Thursday's video what we're actually going to be able to do for Friday. Just looking at where it could open Friday morning if the options after hours on Thursday give us that level of insight. I'm actually assuming the options are Thursday night. They usually are for Amazon, but I didn't look it up to double check, and probably should have before video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. This is Justin Amazon.